I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome back to another video. I thought we would do something a little bit different today, and I am going to film a cooking video for the first time in a really long time. Sorry that I'm wearing the same exact thing that I wore in my last video. It's because I just filmed it and I didn't feel like getting up to change. I'm just filming the intro to this video anyway, so don't mind that. But I am going to film a little cook dinner with me video. My family and I, and this is not sponsored, I wish it was. These people have no idea who I am, I promise. But we've been trying this company called Every Plate. There are a couple different companies that do this. Like I think Blue Ribbon one. I don't know. There's a couple different ones. But this company essentially sends you all of the ingredients for these dishes, and on the back are the directions, and it's cheaper. So I think we do $60 for 3 meals, and each meal will serve up to 4 people. $60 for that much food, like that's pretty good. So we've been doing it pretty much every week. Last week we really didn't cook any, so we paused. For this week we won't be getting any new ones, but this is what I'm going to make. So we are going to make a Turkish chicken rice bowl. So that's what it's going to look like. And so you'll see up here it always says how much prep time it's going to take and how much time it's actually going to take to cook. That's what it's going to look like, and then it has the ingredients of how much you're going to need. And then on the back, step-by-step instructions on how to do it. So I figured that I would just film it and then do a whispered voiceover for the rest of the video, and then we'll see how it comes out at the end, and I'll let you know if it's good or not. So again, not sponsored, but I would recommend this, especially if you're like a family of like 2 to 4 people. This has been really cool, and we would never like know these recipes. We would never like make, like, when would I ever make Turkish chicken, you know? And then once we make the recipes, we always save these cards. I said we should put them in like a little binder, because you can always just make them, like buy the ingredients yourself and just remake your favorite recipes. So if they want to sponsor me, I'm open to it, but not sponsored. So anyway, I am going to go change now, head into the kitchen, and we will get started on the meal prep. So you'll need chicken breasts, basmati rice, Persian cucumbers, tomatoes, 2 Roma tomatoes, 2 lemons, sour cream, these little Turkish spice packets, that's how they send you their seasonings in those little packets. And then things that they don't send you that you'll need: butter, olive oil, salt and pepper, sugar, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so that is all you'll need. So now you're gonna start by chopping up 6 cloves of garlic. So you want to smash them a little bit. Makes it easier to peel off the skin or the shell, whatever you want to call it. Cut off the ends and then just give it a nice little dice. You're going to be putting this in with the rice, and I am not a big fan of biting into gigantic bites of garlic, gigantic pieces of garlic, so I try to cut them up as finely as I can. And then once that's all chopped, you're going to heat up some olive oil in a pot, and you're just gonna kind of heat up the garlic a little bit. You're not gonna cook it by itself too long, maybe 30 to 45 seconds. The directions say until it's fragrant. So when you can start to smell the garlic and you hear a little sizzle, then you're good to move on to the next step. But you're going to add the 2 packets of rice that they send you. I then added 1.5 cups of water to actually cook the rice. Give it a little bit of a stir so that it doesn't stick to anything right away. Although as you cook it, the rice will start to stick to the bottom a little bit. You're gonna put a generous amount of salt, even though I didn't put enough. Later on, I had to put a little bit more once I tasted it, but that's fine. So then you're gonna let that boil, and once you start to see it boil, you're gonna lower the heat and let it simmer for 15 minutes or so. While that rice is cooking, you're gonna wash and start to chop up the cucumbers and the tomatoes. These are Persian cucumbers, like I said, so they're a lot smaller and skinnier. And this is going to be for just like the little vegetable salad that sits on top of the rice. And so I want them to be in, bite-sized pieces. So I just quartered both cucumbers, as you can see. And then I did the same thing with the tomatoes. Please do not judge how I'm cutting this tomato right now. The knife that I was using definitely needs to be sharpened or something, because it was giving me quite a hard time, as you'll see as the video goes on, but it's alright. So I'm just gonna kind of quarter and dice everything into like similar sized pieces. And then you're going to zest the 2 lemons. I wish I had a proper zester. I hate this zester that we have, but you're essentially just scraping the skin of the lemon off, because that gives off a big amount of, lemony flavor. And you put that into just a random bowl. It looks like you're not getting a lot, but a little bit goes a long way. And then you're going to quarter the lemons into quarters, and you're going to use those wedges throughout the rest of the meal. See, look at that knife. Oh jeez, I'm sorry that looks so violent. Anyway, next you're going to unpack the chicken. I washed it and pat it down with paper towels so that it wasn't that wet. And then you're going to squeeze 4 of the lemon wedges in there. Be careful to catch the seeds and any pulp that may come out. That's why I'm squeezing into my hand there, to catch everything, because you don't want that in there. Then you're going to put the Turkish blend in there, both packets, which this stuff was so good. I don't even know how to describe what it tastes like. I've never had, Turkish food, but man, it was good. Generous drizzle of olive oil, salt and pepper. It's gonna look like I'm putting a lot of pepper in here, but it's just because that shaker is running out. It's very low, so I have to really kind of grind it in there to get any out. And then salt as well. Pretty much everything you're gonna see, like almost every step of this meal, you had to add salt and pepper. So salt and pepper goes in everything. This wasn't in the recipe, but I decided to add a little bit of garlic powder, because why not? And then that's gonna act as like a little marinade, sort of. So you're just gonna give that a toss. I tried to make sure the chicken was as evenly covered, and it came in those strips, by the way. In the chicken packets, they came in those little shredded strips. So set that to the side, and now we're gonna do the little vegetable salad. So all of the cucumbers and tomatoes that I chopped are gonna go into the same bowl, and you're going to, I forgot, oh yeah, more olive oil. You're gonna put salt and pepper. Like I said, that happens all throughout the video. And then you're going to add, after this, a half a teaspoon of sugar, which I thought was interesting. And then I squeezed 2 more of the lemon wedges in there. And you're going to want to set this aside to marinate as well. So there goes the second one. I'm pretty sure I dropped a seed in there at one point. I don't remember if I left that in the or not, I guess not. Toss that around. Make sure it is all evenly covered. And then set that aside. In a separate bowl, now we're gonna make the sauce that goes on top of the meal. So I emptied all 4 of the packets of sour cream that they sended. What the heck? I'm gonna leave that in the video because that was funny. That they sent. Wow. And then I'm gonna put the remaining 2 lemon wedges in there. And then you're going to add, let's see what comes next after that. By the way, this dressing, if you want to call it that, sauce, whatever, made the meal. Hands down made the meal. And it's so simple too. So, salt and pepper. And then you're gonna add half of the lemon zest that we got from the lemons before. And then you're gonna give that a good mix. It said whisk, but I'm pretty sure using a spoon is like the same thing. And then to make it into like a sauce, you're gonna add 1 teaspoon of water at a time until it gets to the consistency that you want. The directions say whisk in water 1 teaspoon at a time until mixture reaches a drizzling consistency. I think that I could have even added more water because it was kind of thick, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it wasn't like salad dressing consistency, but I don't think I really wanted that either because I felt like I was watering it down. So then once that is done, again, we're gonna heat up some olive oil in a pan, and we are just gonna cook the chicken. There was actually quite a bit of chicken, so I did this in 2 rounds. I did half the bowl, emptied out the pan, and then the second half. But you're gonna fill this up, make sure everything is laying nice and even on the pan, and you're just gonna cook for about 4 to 6 minutes. So I gave it, a few minutes, and then I kind of tossed everything just so it could get evenly cooked throughout. And yeah, it just says, stirring occasionally, cook the chicken until brown and cooked through. So 4 to 6 minutes, like I said. And this is when the smell is gonna start to get crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna take out this first round and then put in the second round. Also, if you see the pot to the right, that's the rice sitting in there. So after the 15 minutes is up, just take it off the heat completely and just set it aside. So round 2 of the chicken, I didn't show the whole process because it's essentially just doing what I did the first time, so it's nothing crazy. Then once the chicken is done, you're going to start to fluff up the rice with the fork, basically just breaking it up because it's been sitting for a little bit. You're going to add about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of butter in there, and the rice is still relatively warm, so it'll just melt after a minute or 2. You are then going to take the rest of your lemon zest and mix them in there. And all the lemon in this recipe really made it super refreshing. Even though you were eating rice, it didn't feel that heavy between the vegetables and the lemony flavor, so that was cool. Salt and pepper, you know the drill. And then you can taste it and decide what it needs and whatever. And I was making for 4 servings, but we were only 3 people, so I divided the rice into 3 bowls, and then you're going to put everything else on top. The middle bowl was my stepdad's, so you're going to see that that one is going to get the most food compared to the other 2. Then the vegetable goes on the other side, little vegetable salad. Super nice, super pretty too. Love the colors. And like I said before, super refreshing. And then you're just gonna add that dressing that we made on the top. See, so it's thin enough, but it's still relatively thick where it's not just like drizzling off the spoon. And yeah, again, like I said, the sauce was definitely the best part. It was so good. So what we did when we sat down to eat was we literally just mixed everything together until it was one big mush. And that was it. So this is the final outcome. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.